What's the game mode called again? Replication? Try it out. Oh god, what the 5 ciphers? Where am I? What the fuck? Dude, what?
How has there been no mention of the removal of replication? Please bring back replication. What happened to replication? On May 8, 2021, VALORANT would post a tweet teasing their new and upcoming game mode known as Replication. This announcement would generally be met with positive reinforcement from the community, as it allowed for some more variety to be added to the game, and the idea of spamming abilities just seemed like stupid fun. A few days after Riot's announcement, Replication would officially join the game mode roster with the release of patch 2.09, where it quickly became a fan favorite as threads would begin popping up on the official subreddit detailing the chaotic fun the game mode provided. A few weeks later, on May 21st, 2021, VALORANT would announce the introduction of the game mode rotation system. This system would allow Replication, Escalation, and Snowball Fight to each be available for 2 weeks before being cycled to the next. Although this feature was a questionable idea as it only decreased the amount of variety available in the game, Riot's justification was as follows. Simply put, having too many modes active at one time dilutes the queues for all our modes, which in turn makes it longer to find a match. However, on April 27, 2022, VALORANT would release patch 4.08, which would allow both Replication and Escalation to be available to play at all times. So either Riot managed to fix the longer queues problem, possibly by removing Snowball Fight from the roster, or they just no longer cared. Regardless, things would stay as they are until December 6, 2022, when Swift Play Beta would also be introduced to the game mode roster, again adding some more variety. And for the next month, the community would be pretty content with the different game modes available. January 17, 2023. This date would mark the last time Replication would be available to play, as the following day, VALORANT would release patch 6.01 in which they'd state the following. Replication has been removed from modes queue. Although we are shelving Replication temporarily, it is still available to play via the custom game option. No prior warning, no actual explanation for its removal, just the word temporarily. However, despite players expecting the game mode's eventual return, Replication would never be seen again. In fact, Riot would double down on their decision by removing Replication as a custom game option later down the line. Despite Replication disappearing almost 2 years ago, the VALORANT team still have yet to provide an official statement on why it was even removed. The best the community has to go off of are a few popular theories, which we'll look into moving forward. The most popular theory in regards to Replication's removal has to do with the addition of Swift Play. Many players believe that Swift Play's popularity pulled so many players from Replication that it allowed Riot to justify removing the game mode. Swift Play just totally obliterated the Spike Rush and Replication queues. My Spike Rush queue times went from 60 seconds to over 4 minutes. I think Replication just sort of had what people wanted in a casual short game mode, option to buy guns, no weird power-ups, no more chamber v chamber shotgun rounds, and Swift Play just had most if not all of what people want. It's because no one cared about it at all probably. Ever since Swift Play came out, I'm pretty sure no one cares about Spike Rush or Replication anymore. I'm really glad Riot finally realized what the people really wanted. Although the superiority of Swift Play over Replication is subjective, it's important to note that Swift Play was made a permanent game mode just a month after Replication's removal, which could add some further credence to this theory. However, that could also just be a coincidence. Another popular theory is simply in regards to VALORANT's server limitations. As mentioned by one user on my previous Replication video, the answer is literally their servers. They have dedicated servers running each game mode, and the way their system worked, they didn't have space for both Replication or Swift Play to run reliably, so they let the less popular game mode go. Although it seems like this makes sense at first, there isn't really much evidence to back this theory up. Not to mention it's hard to believe that a behemoth of a company like Riot Games wouldn't be able to solve this issue relatively easily.
Tobias, what are you doing? Throwing money at the problem. Okay, money isn't the solution to every problem. It is if you've got enough.
However, despite constant speculation from the community, their pleas for an answer would continue to fall on deaf ears. On April 5th, 2024, VALORANT leaks and news would make the following tweet. New banners for game modes. Unrated, Escalation, Replication. This post would be met with a flurry of support from the community, as many assumed Riot would finally be bringing back this beloved game mode. However, when Valorant would be released for the Xbox and PlayStation a couple months later, players began to realize that these new banners were simply created for the console version of the game. Although this was disappointing to many, the community still held out hope, as these new banners made it clear that Riot hadn't completely forgotten about Replication. So that's it, right? The Valorant team dropped a fun game mode, removed it after a while, and refused to provide any explanation to the community. Right? On April 30th, 2024, a Riot developer would drop a bombshell. In a post made on the official Valorant subreddit detailing gameplay changes coming after VCT Shanghai, we can see a comment removed by a moderator, which was also made by a deleted user. This deleted user is Riot Coleman, the product management lead on Valorant gameplay. Now what's important here isn't his comment about the thread, but rather a reply made by Reddit user ClearOrganization25. I have a question. Is Replication coming back soon anytime in the coming updates? Although Riot Coleman's reply is now deleted, using a website like Undelete will allow us to see its original contents. There aren't any current plans to bring back Replication this episode, no. Can I ask why? Y'all are owed a deeper explanation on this, but the short version is that Replication saw very low player numbers to the point of queue health concerns, players waiting in queue for long periods of time, or playing in pretty lopsided/unbalanced matches. There just weren't that many people who played it, even if it might not feel that way for the folks who loved it. Replication takes a non-negligible amount of work for us to maintain, given the unique nature of bugs you can create with all the interactions there. It creates a little pocket of special issues that we have to address that are only relevant in Replication, whereas most of our bugs permeate across many of our game modes, meaning when you fix them, you're improving the experience in lots of different places. Replication is also difficult to maintain in terms of performance, with some players in some scenarios, for example 10 Vipers, and our minimum spec machines falling to really low FPS thresholds or generally having a bad experience. Replication is also an overhead for agent designers when building new agents. It takes a decent amount of work to figure out interactions between all the agents and how they'll work to get things to not break, and it slows down our development process for making new things. When you put all those things together, and very few people playing the mode, we've opted to set it down for now. It's not off the table that we could bring it back in the future, but we need to find a way to solve these problems, and right now it feels like we have bigger things to prioritize to keep the game healthy. This is it. This is the explanation players have been waiting ages to hear. It didn't come from an official Valorant blog post or even a Riot Dev's Twitter account, but rather an obscure post in the Valorant subreddit not even related to the discussion of Replication. It's still unclear why this comment along with Riot Coleman's Reddit account has been deleted, however, it's likely due to something completely unrelated, as it seems unlikely that Riot would attempt to silence a developer for releasing information about a game mode that's been missing for almost 2 years. However, it still brings to question why Riot themselves have yet to announce anything officially in regards to the game mode's disappearance. It's possible they themselves still hold out hope that they'll be able to bring back Replication eventually, or perhaps they simply want to avoid any possible backlash. With how long Replication has been gone, it's crazy to think about the fact that a good chunk of the Valorant player base never even knew it existed. Although this wasn't the answer the community would have liked to hear, it's probably the most we'll get for a while, and it's nice to finally get some closure. If you enjoyed this video, a sub would be greatly appreciated, as we're currently on our way to 2,000 subscribers. I'd also like to hear your thoughts on Replication's removal and any fond memories of the game mode you'd like to share, so feel free to leave a comment below. With that, thank you so much for watching, and take care.